TVJ delivers.
Picture this. You're on a beach or in the mountains, perhaps a bar or at the salon, with the world at your fingertips. That's one spot. Multiple channels, music, drama, entertainment, news and sports, pay-per-view and video on demand. Download the app, sign up, and boom. So what are you waiting for? Now more than ever, make that connection. One spot is your Jamaican app on the go, and did I say it's free in Jamaica?
The new Jamaica Gleaner website delivers a faster, cleaner, more user-friendly experience. Built on the trusted journalism that has informed Jamaica for generations. Experience clearer pages, faster load times, and smarter ad positioning to make your ads more impactful. Designed across every device for how Jamaicans read today. New experience, powered by trusted journalism. Subscribe to Jamaica-Gleaner.com and experience the most trusted name in news online.
Business grow because TVJ reaches and TVJ delivers.
Picture.
In primetime news this evening, stakeholders concerned about the uncertainty in the education sector just days before schools reopen.
Parents bemoan back-to-school preparation, book prices especially burdensome.
And a legal expert explains the latest immigration ruling in the United States of America. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. Welcome also to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Dwayne Anderson.
And I am Andrea Chisholm. Coming up, we also have the business news. We focus on tourism workers and new plans for housing.
And Spencer Darlington is here to tell us what's coming up later in sports.
Thank you, Dwayne. Reggae boys on the move in the English Premier League. We'll give you more details in Primetime Sports later.
There's also sports commentary and weather in this newscast. But before the break, the feedback question.
And well, Romain is here. Well, you want us to ask Romain what's coming up later in the weather? Let's ask Romain. Romain, what's coming up later in the weather report?
Thanks, Dwayne. We don't have any major changes to the forecast for this week. We are still expecting those isolated thunderstorms in the west. But we do have weaker winds across the area, so it's quite likely that we have an increase in clouds in the afternoons through the week. I'll tell you more in the weather report and forecast.
Thank you for that, Romain. Now I can tell you that there's also sports commentary in this newscast. But before the break, we go to the feedback question.
And this evening we're asking, how do you propose that schools operate amid the ongoing drought?
Share comments online, facebook.com/Television Jamaica, and post on X at TVJ News Center.
So please stay with us. The Primetime News package returns right after this break.
News headlines. Brought to you by
Shop at fontanapharmacy.com and have your order delivered right to your door.
KFC's sweet red chili saucy wings are back. Wings that still crunch the rest. KFC saucy wings, it's finger-licking good.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and
This, you're on a beach or in the mountains, perhaps a bar or at the salon, with the world at your fingertips. That's one spot. Multiple channels, music, drama, entertainment, news and sports, pay-per-view and video on demand. Download the app, sign up, and boom. So what are you waiting for? Now more than ever, make that connection. One spot is your Jamaican app on the go, and did I say it's free in Jamaica?
The new Jamaica Gleaner website delivers a faster, cleaner, more user-friendly experience. Built on the trusted journalism that has informed Jamaica for generations. Experience clearer pages, faster load times, and smarter ad positioning to make your ads more impactful. Designed across every device for how Jamaicans read today. New experience, powered by trusted journalism. Subscribe to Jamaica-Gleaner.com and experience the most trusted name in news online.
Every upgrade gets a chance to win $50,000 every week in the Passport to Millions promotion. Enjoy smoother browsing, streaming, and downloads on the go. Upgrade your SIM today. 50 grand could be yours this week. Visit discoverflow.co. Promotion ends September 9, 2026. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the summer bucket for $4,700.
Primetime News, brought to you by...
With Sagicor Life, you have access to affordable life, critical illness, hospital indemnity, and health insurance. Coverage for all. Care for you.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome to viewers on onespotmedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
First up this evening, opposition spokesman on education Damian Crawford says he's concerned that no deal has been reached between the teachers and the government.
The failure to find a deal has been contributing to uncertainty in the education sector just over a week before schools reopen.
Additionally, with rebuilding efforts at some schools behind schedule, Mr. Crawford says the new academic year could see some students not returning to school.
Jamila Maitland reports.
Educators rejected the government's latest proposal 3-1 during last week's annual teachers' conference in Trelawney. 155 of them voted no, while 54 said they'd accept the proposal. For opposition spokesman on education Damian Crawford, if the matter isn't settled in the coming days, it could spell trouble for the reopening of schools slated for September 7.
It means it is highly probable that upon opening of schools, we will not have the teachers available.
As to why the deal was rejected remains unclear to TVJ News. The JTA said it would keep the matters private so as to not disrupt or inflame the negotiations. Mr. Crawford, who was speaking at a political meeting recently, says he's also concerned about the state of readiness of schools, which could impact the turnout.
We know that most of our schools are not up to standard, with only 35 of over 300 or 45 of over 300 being ready after being damaged by Hurricane Melissa. The government says that they will remain in rotation. Rotation means that they go to school 2 days and miss 3, and another set go to school 3 days and miss 2.
Mr. Crawford worries that the design could lead to further absenteeism and school dropout. A 2026 study published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health on a school-based intervention of absenteeism found that a student is chronically absent if they miss 10 or more school days in a year. That works out to be at least 18 days, which is roughly 2 days per month. Jamaica's average is about 20%. In deep rural Jamaica, it's 40%. The study found that by deploying caseworkers, improvements were observed. Locally, the Ministry of Education says it's searching for the students, especially those in the hurricane-hit parishes of Western Jamaica. Mr. Crawford says it needs to be a national effort.
The absenteeism is also encouraged by the persons not having access to adequate shelter, because how you go to school if your house still not built back yet, if you live on that tapal. And despite the clear necessity for intervention for back-to-school expenses, I've heard no serious government intervention for those who were most affected by by Melissa. And so we expect to have greater levels of absenteeism.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Thanks, Jamila. And staying with the education sector, parents in Westmoreland are lamenting the financial difficulties they're encountering as they make back-to-school preparations. Many of these parents are relying on aid from back-to-school treats to help cushion the crisis. Kimberly Petty has their story.
Back to school, next week or the week after, and right now half of the parents are already.
That is the lived reality for many parents in Westmoreland. As they try to pick up the pieces from Hurricane Melissa, many say they feel burdened with back-to-school expenses. Melrose Gaynor's house was flattened during the hurricane. Today, as she walked her niece from registration at her school, she's questioning how they'll get everything ready by September 6th for the reopening of school.
You know, it's very, very hard, and it's just really hard. But I am trying my best too, and her mother is trying her best to make sure that she goes back to school.
And as she ticks off what she's purchased so far on her list, she's nowhere close. Books unchecked. Bag unchecked. Shoes also unchecked. Uniforms are halfway there. But she's, however, hopeful that a good Samaritan will save the day. Some argue that they were expecting some real assistance from the government as they are still struggling to recover.
Imagine Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth get the hardest hit. And not even on the part, the government will say, all right, we can't reach everybody, whatever, but the parents who are on the part, because they need them on the part. So when we send little something, what they send on the part, yes, I'm not saying they don't, they send on little. What that can do.
Miss Gale highlighted that her biggest back-to-school expenses are the books.
The book prices are ridiculous. I have to call the school and tell the teachers that look here, I don't want them to meet like no. Please tell me so we can get them. Because you see, back in the days when the books were handed down, it was more better than no. No, you have to buy them, half of the books them no use.
This other parent has 3 children.
Real hard, you know. I now got teeth, you know. So I want to look at business that we have up there by Dickens shop. When it started, top blow up and mash up there, so we don't cool up back on now, so you know.
Kimberly Petty, TVJ News.
The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Service STODS is urging its public transport operators to hold off on plans for an all-island no-movement day on September 7 when the new school term begins. President Edgerton Newman had made it clear that TODS is not in support of the proposed move. He says the government should be given more time to address their concerns, as stakeholders already met with Transport Ministry officials to work through the issues, including the October 1 implementation of the new demerit points system and better working conditions for PPV operators.
Listen, and he's paying keen attention to it by way of establishing a committee put together with several agencies and organizations. And we believe that time should be given for this team to review the Road Traffic Act and to get back to us. It cannot be done overnight. We believe in communication, and we have done that. We believe in consultation, and that is taking place. And we hope that the October 1 time for demerit points to be put in place will be set back.
Transport operators have raised issues with the demerit points system, particularly that there is the high risk of rapid license suspensions, which would affect their earning potential. Mr. Newman is also urging operators to avoid taking any actions that could unnecessarily disrupt the reopening of schools.
September 7th is back to school. Why would I, as a parent, want to disrupt the opening of school, new school term? No, I can't. And so the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services and its associated groups and individual island-wide does not support. We must focus on public transportation if you are public transportation operators. Don't mix it with politics.
Jamaicans looking to migrate to the United States through an immigrant visa are finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. On Friday, the Trump administration's ban on visas from immigrants, for immigrants from 75 countries, was struck down by a federal judge. The development ends months of uncertainty for many people, including Jamaicans. But as we hear in this report from Kelisha Williams, one immigration attorney says it could still take months before applicants get an update on their cases.
On Friday, the court ruled that the visa suspension for the 75 countries, including Jamaica, was contrary to the law and outside the statutory authority of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. According to CNN, Judge Janet Vargas of the Federal District Court in Manhattan took issue with the State Department's rationale for the policy. U.S. Immigration Attorney Xavier Francis explains why.
The court held that the policy was issued in excess of the Department of State's statutory authority and unlawfully discriminated against these countries on the basis of nationality.
In January, many Jamaicans looking to gain permanent residence in the United States were left in a state of limbo after the visa ban. It stopped the processing of permanent residence visas for people joining family members or taking jobs in the U.S. However, it did not apply to non-immigrant visas such as tourist or student visas. At the time, the U.S. Department of State said it revoked more than 100,000 visas since Trump returned to office. Now, going forward,
it means that consulates must return to adjudicating immigrant visa applications from these countries, including Jamaica. However, there is a significant backlog of immigrant visa applications that have been impacted by this policy since it took effect in January. So it could take months before impacted applicants are able to get a final decision on their cases.
However, there's also another piece to the puzzle.
We are expecting the Department of State to issue guidance on how it intends to move forward with these applications, but that could take weeks to materialize.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
Thanks, Kelisha. Now, still to come this evening, investigation ongoing into the fatal shooting incident involving a policeman and a licensed firearm holder in Clarendon. And in business news, authorities working to deliver homes promised to tourism workers. We'll be right back.
Television Jamaica.
TVJ delivers.
Picture this. You're on a beach or in the mountains, perhaps a bar or at the salon, with the world at your fingertips. That's one spot. Multiple channels, music, drama, entertainment, news and sports.
Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. Opposition spokesperson on finance Julian Robinson is demanding answers from the government over reports that a company has accumulated millions of dollars in unpaid property taxes and penalties. New Falmouth Resorts Limited is reportedly 6 years behind on property tax payments for more than 260 acres of land in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. Mr. Robinson is questioning why the company has been allowed to accumulate such a large debt while ordinary Jamaicans face penalties and court actions for far smaller amounts.
This comes within the context of the government's missing its revenue target for the last quarter by over $28.7 billion. How many other companies have huge tax arrears that have not been collected by the government? In my last budget debate presentation, I emphasized the need for greater focus on compliance and enforcement measures to collect outstanding taxes versus seeking to impose new tax measures. The government must increase its use of digital tools and technologies to collect the taxes that are already due.
Transparency, stronger tax enforcement, and equal treatment for all taxpayers.
The 28-year-old man charged in connection with the violent August 9 attack on the 15 and 17-year-old brothers at this Zimise Beach party in Ocherius in St. Anne is now out of police custody. The court made the decision to grant the man bail today. He now joins the other man charged in the incident, a 43-year-old New York businessman who was granted bail in the sum of $1 million earlier this month. Romada Lyons has this TVJ News update.
$500,000, the sum in which 28-year-old Raman Brown was granted bail in the St. Anne Parish Court on Monday. The court found that the accused, Mr. Brown, does not present a flight risk, meaning he isn't deemed likely to run away before the outcome of the case. A clean antecedent history was also taken into consideration. The last time he stood before the court, on Thursday, August 20, Judge Kemwai McEachran deferred a decision for bail pending the receipt of an antecedent report from the prosecution. It was argued that Mr. Brown, who told the court that he was a DJ by profession, may have had previous run-ins with the law. Well, the report was produced. It returned no previous convictions for the accused. It was noted that he had previously been wanted in the United States in relation to robbery allegations. No convictions were recorded in respect of those allegations. But upon his arrest abroad, he was deported by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Now, the conditions of his bail are based on one or two sureties: to report to the police station Monday and Saturday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., a stop order to be placed on all ports of entry and exit. Also, not to interfere with the complainant or with any of the prosecution's witnesses. The DJ is charged with assault occasioning bodily harm, unlawful wounding, and inflicting grievous bodily harm. Earlier, prosecutors revealed that one of the injuries sustained by one of the teenage brothers during the altercation could be permanent. The next hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, September 22, 2026. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
To another primetime news follow-up now. The police are trying to make connections with the Haitian authorities to clamp down on the illicit meat for guns trade in the island. It comes as Praedial larceny continues to increase over the summer period. Kalisha Williams has that story.
Detective Inspector Robert Robinson is a sub-officer in charge of the JCF's Agricultural Protection Branch Area 5 unit. His team has been working overtime to try and reduce Praedial larceny in communities like Colbeck and Sligoville in St. Catherine and Trinityville in St. Thomas. Over the past few months, he said the communities have been hotspots for Praedial thieves who they suspect are contributing to the meat for guns trade between Jamaica and Haiti.
We are looking to get some statements in. We have some person of interest that we wish for them to turn themselves in just for questioning. And we are also looking for some other persons that we want to arrest for these crimes.
However, he said, based on the nature of the investigation, the names of the persons of interest cannot be released at this time. And so, the Agricultural Protection Branch is working closely with the local police in the respective communities. As for whether they have made contact with officials in Haiti to help stem the illicit trade,
not as yet. We have an intelligence team here at APB, the Special Intelligence Investigation Unit. They are doing some behind-the-scene work to do just that. In terms of operational response, we have been working with the Marine Division to clamp down on the ports. We have set up various checkpoints at night. We have also intensified our patrol within the affected areas just to maintain presence.
Detective Inspector Robinson said in some cases animals have been recovered and returned to their rightful owners. Cattle and goats have been the primary target for the thieves. And so, while the police intensify their efforts, farmers are also being urged to be vigilant and secure their animals where possible, especially at nights.
Second half of the year, this is where we will see an upsurge in larceny of goats. Everyone wants curry goat for Christmas, and I believe that these goats are taken and stored for the festive period.
Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
A probe has been launched into the police fatal shooting of a licensed firearm holder last evening in Cornpeace in Hayes in Clarendon. It is reported that the licensed firearm holder was shot and killed by an off-duty police officer during an alleged confrontation in the community. Reports are that about midday today, the home of the lawman was destroyed by a fire. Investigators believe it may have been linked to last Sunday's deadly shooting. The suspected arson is the fourth such incident reported by the police since Friday. The three other incidents were reported in St. Mary, where several homes and cars were destroyed or damaged by fire.
The Works Minister has given a timeline for when repair and reconstruction will begin on some of the major breakaways on roads across the island. Robert Morgan says the national program will begin in a matter of months and will target the parishes hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa. Details from Prince Moore.
It's been 10 months since Hurricane Melissa barreled through these parts, and the signs are just as fresh. Among the most obvious, this breakaway, and this one, and this one. Robert Morgan is the Works Minister and
Southern Clarendon, just north and northwest Clarendon, but also Cave Valley. And a lot of the aggregate that is transported to Montego Bay and North Coast for the hotel industry travels through my constituency and through Northern Clarendon. So it's a very important corridor. The good thing about the Pennant breakaway is that we have land space there that we can look at in case something worse happens. We can divert the traffic.
These motorists seen here skillfully navigating the now narrow roads are not the only ones facing this risk daily. And the Works Minister says a national fix is coming.
And we're actually now crafting a program to look at the major breakaways across the entire island to prioritize them. Remember, we, about a year ago, had one of the most devastating hurricanes that Jamaica has ever experienced. And it would have caused significant damage to areas in St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James.
Until the work starts in the next months is...
We'll just be careful based on the condition of the road. And while the breakaways are a challenge, motorists have to recognize that there are challenges. We've had a major disaster, and it will take some time for us to recover.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
Thanks, Prince. And staying with Melissa-related matters, hundreds of children got an opportunity to escape the harsh realities post-Melissa in St. Elizabeth. Recently, several volunteers from the United States of America gave their time and goods to the effort. Details in this report. This isn't just a basketball camp. It is the basketball camp. And every day during the second week of August, children got a chance to learn the game, including from a senior NBA referee. Each day, close to 700 children participated.
I started coming down here 10 years ago, came by myself. Now I bring my two sons who are 11 and 12. For me, it's been more than just basketball. It's an opportunity to teach my family about life, about the world, the importance of being selfless, being here for a greater purpose than just ourselves.
Some of the participants were students who traveled from as far away as Kingston to Treasure Beach for the sessions. Originally, the plan was to host a camp to give scouts a chance to find talents, and there have been success stories. But for some of these children, this is just a week-long fun day. A chance to socialize with other children, play in the park, and get 3 square meals. And this year, things were a little different and emotional. A lot of the participants are hurricane victims.
So these kids and these families and these people who have been through tremendous trauma, not only once, but twice, and God knows how many other times in their lives that wasn't a natural disaster. The resilience of the Jamaican people is the most incredibly inspiring, awestruck thing I've ever seen.
It's one of the most humbling things that I think I've ever experienced, knowing what everyone has been through and having a chance to help build back with love and having a chance to help restore this sports park and give them a place to have fun, have a spark of hope and belief in their lives after everything that this beautiful place has gone through over the past several years. It means everything to me.
Back to school will also be a little bit easier for some parents too. The program includes a distribution of much-needed supplies.
They could still be coming from places that don't have a roof, that don't have electricity. Their schools might be starting late this year, and when they come to camp, they get breakfast in the morning, they get lunch, they get afternoon meal, and we also have a container load full of free donations of shoes. They take them school shoes, backpacks, water bottles, shirts, t-shirts, shorts.
Now later in this newscast, USA-Canada trade war escalating as Donald Trump threatens to increase tariffs on cars from Canada. Please stay with us.
Pay-per-view and video on demand. Download the app, sign up, and boom. So what are you waiting for? Now more than ever, make that connection. One Spot is your Jamaican app on the go, and did I say it's free in Jamaica?
The new Jamaica Gleaner website delivers a faster, cleaner, more user-friendly experience. Built on the trusted journalism that has informed Jamaica for generations. Experience clearer pages, faster load times, and smarter ad positioning to make your ads more impactful. Designed across every device for how Jamaicans read today. New experience, powered by trusted journalism. Subscribe to Jamaica-Gleaner.com and experience the most trusted name in news online.
One of those children in rural St. Andrew left to wonder where lunch would come from. In this evening's Ray of Hope, we hear how the researcher, lecturer and author clawed himself back to purpose. Romarda Lyons has
Ray
the
of
story.
Hope, brought to you by
Quartz has what you need to make home yours. Easy payment plans using Quartz Ready Finance. Quartz, make home yours.
1 bedroom for 6 siblings, an outside bathroom and a toilet. That was home for O'Neill Madden while growing up in Mavis Bank, St. Andrew. The struggles were maddening.
We had to share everything. Both my sisters and I, and my other brothers, because we're 3 boys, 3 girls. In terms of even going to school, finding the resources, when you get the book list and you see the books and all the resources, the materials that were needed, it was very challenging for my parents.
They tried to make ends meet, but the ends were like enemies who refused to cross paths.
Basic items that you think every school child would have, even with the best efforts of my parents, they still fell short.
But motivation stood tall.
One of the things that my mother especially, instilled was you have to learn to satisfy with what you have. It's not what you have in terms of material things to take to school, but it's your brain.
His parents were farmers who did a little bit more to bring in some money. His dad reared cows and was a mason. His mom toiled at several coffee factories, but she had to quit when the days got darker than the coffee. Health issues. That struggle fueled passion. He left Excelsior High School with 10 subjects, then applied to Shortwood Teachers College to read for a Bachelor of Education in French and Spanish.
I did not have the tuition fees. My big sister, again, who was starting UTech the same year, got a partner job. And my mother said to her, your brother got you to go to college. I'm going to ask you to take him downtown Kingston, buy some stuff because I was going to be boarding. And, some of that money was also used to register me to start my undergrad studies.
Now, he's one of the Caribbean's leading researchers in applied linguistics with 32 publications.
Looking at gamification in language education, artificial intelligence in language education, intercultural communication, etc.
He has served as president of the Association of Jamaican Nationals in France and also taught there and at several universities locally and regionally.
An amazing experience to interact with young people, to guide, to mentor, to support, and to represent, especially in our local and regional context, to represent who they are. A lot of the students who I teach are of similar background. It's really not where you're coming from, but it's where you're heading.
With your Ray of Hope, I'm Romarda Lyons.
Ray of Hope, brought to you by
Quartz has what you need to make home yours. Easy payment plans using Quartz Ready Finance. Quartz, make home yours.
Time now for the responses to our feedback question. And this evening we're asking, how do you propose schools operate amid the ongoing drought? The first response is from Audley. I suggest that schools operate staggered break times, subdivide recess and lunch windows. This prevents crowding at taps and reduces accidental water waste from running taps. Empower student leaders to report waste. Our next response is from Tanisha. I would suggest that the government compensate the school to buy or rent portable bathrooms and get water trucks to refill them when necessary. Because education is the key to do better. Well, education is the key to a better future for Jamaica. Therefore, schools must go on. Christopher says, in order to prevent a health crisis, the same measures that existed in the COVID period will need to be put in place. Reduce attendance days, and if the crisis escalates, then full-time online school will have to be held until the situation improves. Keep sending those comments, facebook.com/televisionjamaica and post on X at TVJ News Center. The business day and news from overseas are after the break, so please stay with us.
TVJ delivers.
Picture this. You're on a beach or in the mountains, perhaps a bar or at the salon, with the world at your fingertips. That's one spot. Multiple channels, music, drama, entertainment, news and sports, pay-per-view and video on demand. Download the app, sign up, and boom. So what are you waiting for? Now more than ever, make that connection. One Spot is your Jamaican app on the go, and did I say it's free in Jamaica?
The new Jamaica Gleaner website delivers a faster, cleaner, more user-friendly experience. Built on the trusted journalism that has informed Jamaica for generations. Experience clearer pages, faster load times, and smarter ad positioning to make your ads more impactful. Designed across every device for how Jamaicans read today. New experience, powered by trusted journalism. Subscribe to jamaica-gleaner.com and experience the most trusted name in news online.
Television Jamaica.
with profits increasing by 30%. For the first 6 months ended June 30, the financial institution recorded net income of $534.7 million, up from $412.7 million during the corresponding period last year. The improved performance was supported by a 22% increase in net interest income, which rose $1 billion. Afri-Emzim Bank was also continued to expand its lending activities with net loans and advances increasing. Senior Executive Vice President at the entity, Dennis Denia, said the results demonstrate the resilience of the group at a time when member countries are navigating a particularly complex global environment. To news now from the tourism sector locally, plans are underway to deliver houses that were promised to tourism workers. In his sectoral presentation this year, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said the aim was to deliver 4,000 units in and around Montego Bay in St. James. In a recent interview, he said HR departments at different hotels have also been doing their assessments.
To identify who are the workers that had damage and so on in most need. And then they would automatically go to the funding agencies. Some areas, the companies have said that they would buy and then either provide it for the workers or create a program where they can purchase it from them over time. So there's a number of formula that are being looked at as to what finally we will get as the optimal one. In the meantime, because they are all NHT contributors and so on and so forth, they have access to getting benefit from the NHT.
Mr. Bartlett adds that a wider strategy is being developed to make housing affordable for the tourism workers.
Talking now, for example, to one or two mortgage companies about developing something we're calling patient mortgage, which is longer term, 50 years, 40 odd years, and so on. So that the work.
2 points. The winners included First Rock Real Estate Investments, Cygnus Real Estate Finance US dollar shares, 138 Student Living Jamaica, 8% shares. The losers included JFP Limited, AS Bryden & Sons Holdings, Innovative Energy Group, First Rock Real Estate Investments US dollar shares, and Express Catering. 15 stocks traded firm. At the end of foreign exchange trading, banks and cambios were selling the US dollar for an average $159.33. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $115.09. The pound is going for $215.01, while the euro is selling for an average $186.07. And that's the business news. News from overseas when we return.
You do a pizza from Little Caesars. Half of the pizza with pepperoni and Italian sausage, and the other half with ham and green peppers. Plus 2 different crusts. One side Parmesan, the other Italian spice. Only $19.50, you know you want one. Just do it and done. Little Caesars, pizza, pizza.
BCIC has third-party car insurance that makes your pockets smile. Get BCIC Minimax, Jamaica's only third-party insurance with unlimited windshield replacement, up to $150,000 to pay for your vehicle repairs, and up to 11 months to pay your premium. Plus, get BCIC Assist with 24/7 roadside assistance island-wide for accident scene assistance, jump starts, and more. Switch and save with BCIC.
or visit
In news overseas, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to hike U.S. tariffs on vehicles originating in Canada as the trade war between the two neighbors continues to heat up. Trump said on Monday that he will increase tariffs on Canadian cars and trucks, as well as auto parts, from 25% to 50% as of January 1. It comes after U.S.-Canada trade talks collapsed late last week, with each side accusing the other of making unreasonable last-minute demands. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney called Trump's latest threat unsurprising and accused the president of wanting to destroy Canada's auto industry. He added that Canada is ready to resume talks if the U.S. comes with the right attitude.
You know, Andrea, it rained for about 3 minutes in Kingston today, and it only made me a little bit more upset. It's like the rain is taunting me. We need some rain.
Yes.
We do.
We do. That came out of nowhere. But it's okay. It's been on your mind. That's quite fine. You want to go on now to throw to the break, or should I?
The Primetime News package continues with sports right after this break.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of
Jamaica.com. Let us help your business grow, because TVJ reaches and TVJ delivers.
Picture this. You're on a beach or in the mountains, perhaps a bar or at the salon, with the world at your fingertips. That's one spot. Multiple channels, music, drama, entertainment, news and sports, pay-per-view and video on demand. Download the app, sign up, and boom. So what are you waiting for? Now more than ever, make that connection. One Spot is your Jamaican app on the go, and did I say it's free in Jamaica?
The new Jamaica Gleaner website delivers a faster, cleaner, more user-friendly experience. Built on the trusted journalism that has informed Jamaica for generations. Experience clearer pages, faster load times, and smarter ad positioning to make your ads more impactful. Designed across every device for how Jamaicans read today. New experience, powered by trusted journalism. Subscribe.
50% down to 1.